हेलो माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स एंड वेलकम वंस अगेन टू जेनिथ एकेडमी ऑनलाइन। आज हम करने जा रहे हैं एसएससी क्लास 8 यानी महाराष्ट्र बोर्ड की क्लास 8 का बायोलॉजी का फर्स्ट चैप्टर लिविंग वर्ल्ड एंड क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ माइक्रोब्स एंड दिस इज पार्ट 2 ऑफ द सेम चैप्टर। पार्ट 1 हमने ऑलरेडी पब्लिश कर चुके हैं। आप चाहते हैं तो लिंक में मैं ऊपर आई बटन और नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिख दूंगी, लिंक दे दूंगी। सो पार्ट 1 प्लीज देख लीजिए, लिविंग वर्ल्ड एंड क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ माइक्रोब्स का, जहां हमने 5 किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन बताया है। आज के हमारे पार्ट 2 में हम करेंगे क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ माइक्रोब्स। ठीक है, तो माइक्रोब्स के बारे में आज हम करने वाले हैं। तो बच्चों, among the living organisms, among all the living organisms, microorganisms are the largest in number, hence they need to be classified properly. So this is the classification of microorganisms. तो microorganisms जो है बच्चों, प्रोकैरियोट्स और यूकैरियोट्स में क्लासिफाइड है। दिस इज द ब्रॉड क्लासिफिकेशन। मैंने पिछली बार आपको बताया था व्हाट आर प्रोकैरियोट्स, जो एंशिएंट वाले हैं, जिसमें न्यूक्लियस की लाइनिंग नहीं है, देयर इज नो न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन और न्यूक्लियर वॉल नहीं है। सो न्यूक्लियस के सभी जो चीजें हैं वो बिखरी हुई है, राइट। ये एंशिएंट टाइप के हैं, डेवलप्ड सेल ऑर्गेनेल्स भी नहीं है। एंड यूकैरियोट्स आर द वंस which have a proper membrane bound nucleus and it has all the other cell organelles as well. तो प्रोकैरियोटिक पुराने, जिसमें मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड न्यूक्लियस नहीं है, डेवलप्ड सेल ऑर्गेनेल्स नहीं है। तो प्रोकैरियोट्स के अंडर आते हैं बैक्टीरिया। ओके, बैक्टीरियाज आर प्रोकैरियोट्स। यूकैरियोट्स के अंडर 4 चीजें आती है। पहला है प्रोटिस्टा या प्रोटोजोन्स, फंजाई, देन एल्गी, और एक और चीज है वायरस। ना वायरस को अलग से कैटेगराइज किया गया है क्योंकि वो नॉन लिविंग है। ऑल द अदर 3 आर लिविंग। सो वायरस बेसिकली लिविंग और नॉन लिविंग की बाउंड्री लाइन पर है। ठीक है, तो हम इन 5 के बारे में पढ़ने वाले हैं, बैक्टीरिया, प्रोटोजोन, फंजाई एंड एल्गी। तो साइज ऑफ माइक्रोब्स के बारे में जब भी बात आएगी तो याद रखिएगा कि 1 मीटर जो है, 1 मीटर विल बी 10⁻⁶ माइक्रोमीटर। ठीक है, एंड अगर हम नैनोमीटर से कंपेयर करना चाहे तो 1 मीटर इज इक्वल टू 10⁹ नैनोमीटर। ओके, जैसे जैसे आगे आएगा मैं आपको बताती जाऊंगी। तो शुरू करते हैं सबसे पहले बैक्टीरिया के साथ। सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट बैक्टीरिया इन डिटेल। सो बच्चों, बैक्टीरिया की क्या साइज होती है? 1 मिलीमीटर टू 10 मिलीमीटर। Here I have given you some examples: coccus, cocobacillus, spirillum, bacillus, vibrio. ठीक है, it is something, it's the shape of a comma. Okay, ऐसे उल्टा, जैसे कि हम comma ऐसे लगाते हैं ना, so it's the shape of a comma. Okay, this is the shape of a spiral. Coccus and cocobacillus are, coccus is always circular, ये oval होता है, और बैसिलस रॉड लाइक होता है। सो दीज आर द डिफरेंट एग्जांपल्स ऑफ बैक्टीरिया। ठीक है, तो याद रखो बैक्टीरिया क्या है? यूनिसेल्युलर, इंडिपेंडेंट, पैरासिटिक ऑर्गेनिजम्स, राइट। दे आर पैरासाइट्स, दे ऑब्टेन द न्यूट्रिशन फ्रॉम द होस्ट एंड समटाइम्स मेनी बैक्टीरिया, ठीक है, एक ही टाइप के बैक्टीरिया, मेनी बैक्टीरिया टुगेदर फॉर्म लार्ज कॉलोनीज। ओके, हियर यू कैन सी देयर आर डिफरेंट कॉलोनीज। लेट मी erase this. Okay, so in the first diagram also you can see there are so many small colonies of circular ones. Okay, this 9th one is showing you the colonies of cylindrical ones, isn't it? Spiral ones. So these are, they occur in clusters, that is colonies. So bacteria are unicellular, they are independent, parasitic organisms. Sometimes many bacteria together form colonies. Second characteristic is they are prokaryotic. Just now I told you they are prokaryotic, but they are prokaryotic, they are having a cell wall, but distinct nucleus or cell organelles are absent, as it happens in prokaryotes, right? So bacteria is a special type of prokaryotic cell which has a overall cell wall, but inside there is no distinct nucleus. Okay, all the DNA and everything is spread and cell organelles are also not there. So you can see here, I have shown you the diagram. There is a capsule, okay, a cell wall is there. Can you see? A cell wall is there. But all the material of the nucleus, can you see here? This is your DNA, nucleoid DNA, okay? This is all spread, ribosomes, everything is spread. So there is no membrane of the nucleus, plus the cell organelles are absent. Then the next point is they produce by simple binary fission. What is binary fission? See here, this is how a bacterium looks like. A cell wall is there and all the DNA and everything is just spread. So first it elongates, then a notch is formed here in between. Can you see? Now it is divided into two. So this is the parent and these are the daughter cells. So binary fission means breaking, and binary is into two. Okay, so one cell there is an elongation, then there is a constriction, ऐसे बीच में there is a constriction like this, and then this divides and form two daughter cells. ठीक है? So it divides by binary fission. It reproduces by binary fission. Next, in favorable conditions, bacteria grow vigorously and can double their number in 20 minutes. So if there are suppose 1 million bacteria at a place, so in 20 minutes they will become 2 million. So that vigorously it can grow. So let us revise all the 4 points of bacteria. First, the size, 1 millimeter to 10 millimeter is the size. Here are the different type of bacteria that I have shown you. They are unicellular, independent, parasitic. Sometimes they together form colonies. Then it is prokaryotic with cell wall. So if it is prokaryotic, we know no distinct nucleus or cell organelles are absent. They reproduce by binary fission, and in favorable conditions, if they get the proper conditions to grow, they grow vigorously and can double their number in 20 minutes. So this was all about bacteria. Now let's talk about the second, that is protozoa. Okay, let's talk about protozoa in detail. So the size is approximately 200 millimeter. So it is slightly bigger than your, see here the bacteria was 1 millimeter to 10 millimeter. Here it is 200 millimeter. Okay. So protozoans are found where you can find them in soil, in fresh water and seawater. Okay. Some are found in the body of other organisms and are pathogenic. So some protozoans are also found in the body of other organisms like humans and other animals, and they are pathogens. So here you can see in humans also different protozoans are present, in ruminants like cows, in fishes, in plants, in pigs. These are all the different types of protozoans that are found. Can you see? So in detail, the names and all are not for you. So I'm just telling you that these are found in soil, in seawater, in fresh water, in the body of other organisms like human beings, plants and animals. Next is they are unicellular organisms with eukaryotic cell. Now only the first part, that is you can see bacteria was prokaryote. If you see this diagram, I had shown you this table here, this table. Only bacteria are prokaryotes. Others, all that we will be studying will be eukaryotes. Okay. So let's begin. Just let me rub this. So they are found in soil, fresh water and seawater, and some are found in the body of other organisms and are pathogenic like this. And these are unicellular organisms with eukaryotic cell. Unicellular and eukaryotic. So here I have given you two examples. See, why are they eukaryotic? Can you see? There is a proper nucleus. Okay, nucleus is there. Okay, here also the nucleus is there. There are different cell organelles. You can see vacuole is there. Okay, nucleus is there. Here if you see, you can see all the cell organelles are there. There are different cell organelles. Okay, cytoplasm, vacuoles, all the cell organelles are there, and well-defined nucleus is there. That is why we can say it is a eukaryotic, and all the functions are carried out by a single cell, so they are unicellular. Next, there is a great variation in cell structure. There is a lot of difference in cell structure, organs of locomotion, and the modes of nutrition among protozoans. There is a large variety of protozoans that are there. Okay, and there is a great difference you will see in their cell structure, in their organs of locomotion, how they are locomoting. Okay, so for us, for example, what is the organ of locomotion? Our legs. For them, they have flagella or cilia or different cell organs of locomotion. Okay, so here you see these are the different types of protozoans. Here the flagella is used for locomotion. Here the cilia is used. See, here there is cilia that is used for locomotion. Here flagella is used for locomotion, and here the false legs. These are called the pseudopodia. Okay, pseudopodia or false legs that are used for locomotion. Okay, then the last point is these organisms reproduce by simple cell division. So here you can see binary fission in amoeba. You can see this is the binary fission in amoeba. Binary fission in amoeba is irregular. Okay, next example is for Euglena. This is Euglena. It is longitudinal. Can you see the longitudinal fission like this? Then for Paramecium, it is transverse like this. This is transverse. So this is Paramecium. And for Keratium, it is oblique. Can you see this is oblique? Obliquely it is cutting like this. Okay. So this is called simple cell division. So let's revise protozoa. Protozoans are found in soil, fresh water and seawater. Some are found in body of other organisms and are pathogenic. They are unicellular and eukaryotic. There is a great variation in cell structure, organs of locomotion and modes of nutrition among protozoans. And these organisms reproduced by simple cell division. So let's talk about the examples of protozoans. First is amoeba. You all must have seen the amoeba and drawn the diagram of amoeba, right? This is an example of protozoan. Second is Paramecium. Now Paramecium is free living in dirty water. You'll always see whenever you take some dirty water in a slide and observe it under a microscope, you will always find Paramecium. So this is how a Paramecium looks like. Paramecium, when you have to remember how Paramecium looks like, it is like a shoe sole, right? Shoe sole it looks like, isn't it? This is Paramecium. Next is Antamyba Histolica. Now Antamyba Histolica causes amoebiasis in our body. So when by food or by water Antamyba Histolica enters our body, it causes amoebiasis. There's a lot of loose motions and all in amoebiasis. So this is how it looks like. Okay, Antamyba Histolica looks like this. Next, Plasmodium Vivex. This is the one which causes malaria. Plasmodium Vivex. It looks something like this. Okay, you don't have to learn the diagrams, you don't have to learn the labeling, but you should know how does it look like. You should be able to distinguish between them. Okay, so I will repeat the examples. Amoeba, Paramecium, free living in dirty water, it looks like a shoe sole. Then Antamyba Histolica, this causes amoebiasis. Then Plasmodium Vivex, it causes malaria. Now, and Euglena. Euglena is autotrophic. So you can see this is how a Euglena looks like with a long flagella. So with the long flagellum, it is a Euglena. It is autotrophic. You have to remember it produces its own food, because you can see the chloroplast inside, isn't it? Can you locate the chloroplast? This red color is the nucleus. Okay, here also you can see red color nucleus is there. This is the red color nucleus. This is the flagella for locomotion. Proper cell wall, cell organelles are there. Chloroplast is there. That is why it is autotrophic. So these are the different examples Amoeba, Paramecium, Antamyba Histolica, Plasmodium Vivex, and Euglena. Next, let's go to fungi. Fungi or fungi. This is how some people pronounce it. Okay, I pronounce it as fungi. Every pronunciation is correct. So the approximately size is now 10 millimeter to 100 millimeter. It is slightly smaller than the protozoan, slightly bigger than the first one, right? Fungi. This is the size. You have to remember the size. These are found on decaying organic matter. In the last video also I spoke to you about fungi a little bit. On decaying organic matter and on dead bodies of plants and animals you find fungi. These are eukaryotic organisms. Okay, again they are eukaryotic. You have to remember for fungi that they are, where are they found? On decaying organic matter and dead bodies. They are eukaryotic. Now some are unicellular and others are multicellular, bigger, visible with our naked eyes also. Okay, so if you see, this is how a typical fungal cell would look like. It has a nucleus, it has other cell organelles. Can you see? It has a nucleus, it has Golgi bodies, cytoplasm, cell membrane is there, cell wall is there, mitochondria, the energy producing organism is there, endoplasmic reticulum is there. So this is a typical fungal cell. Okay, and in this fungal cell you can see a bud forming, right? A small bud is forming. So let's talk about fungi. These are found on decaying organic matter of dead bodies, eukaryotic, some are unicellular, others are visible by naked eyes. They are saprotrophic. We know that it is found in decaying organic matter. So it absorbs their food from the decaying organic matter. They are saprophytic. They don't produce their own food. Then they produce sexually and asexually both. Now, sexual reproduction is not in detail for us. Asexual also you should know only that they reproduce asexually either by cell division or by budding. So I'll show you an example. So basically fragmentation is also there, but for you can see budding. This is the mother cell. Can you see a bud forming and then it forms into individual bud. Then the cell itself forms a line constriction in between and the cell divides like this. So this is the divided cell. So fission and budding. These are the two vegetative reproduction in fungi. Okay, children. So let's recap. These are found on decaying organic matter and dead bodies of plants and animals. Eukaryotic, okay, eukaryotic, saprotrophic, and they produce sexually as well as asexually by cell division and by budding. Okay. Next, the examples. Baker's yeast. In the last video also I showed you this is how a baker's yeast look like. This is a spoonful of yeast, and if we enlarge it and see it under a microscope, it looks like this. Then we have candida. So candida looks something like this. Then we have mushroom. We all know how mushroom looks like, isn't it? So I've given you this picture so that you easily remember. Next is algae. Okay, let's talk about algae. Now, the size is again 10 millimeter to 100 millimeter only. They are aquatic. You have to remember that they are found in water. You all must have seen alga in water, right? The green slippery things that you find in water are algae. So they are aquatic. They are eukaryotic. We all know they are everything now that we are studying is eukaryotic. So they can be multicellular or unicellular, both. They can be unicellular or multicellular. Autotrophic organisms. Obviously, just now we said that it is green found in water. So it is autotrophic. It prepares their own food. Okay. So this is how an alga cells look like. Can you see there are chloroplasts here? Okay, these are the chloroplasts, these ones. So since there are chloroplasts here, so they are autotrophic. Photosynthesis is carried out with the help of chloroplasts present in the cell. I just now showed you. Now these are the examples: Chlorella, Okay, this is Chlorella. Chlamydomonas. This is how a simple diagram of Chlamydomonas looks like. You have to understand that this green part is like this. Can you see the green part inside? It looks like cup. A cup shaped chloroplast is there, nucleus is there, pyrenoid is there, and two flagella. Okay, this is how a Chlamydomonas looks like. So please note here that very few species of alga are unicellular and most of them are multicellular and visible with naked eyes. That is why we are able to see most of them. Now, the last category is viruses. I have taken viruses in detail. So please pay attention here, all of you now. So last category is viruses. Approximate size is almost the same. Generally, viruses are not considered as living organisms, or they are said to be organisms at the edge of the living and non-living. So initially there was a lot of confusion as to where to put viruses, in living organisms or non-living organisms. So generally we consider viruses as non-living. Okay. So, and there are many characteristics of living as well. That is why we have kept it at the edge of living and non-living. Okay. So, but still, even if we consider them as non-living, they are always studied under microbiology. Okay. Viruses are extremely minute. That is, they are 10 to 100 times smaller than bacteria and can be seen only with an electron microscope. Can you see here? I have shown you the picture of an electron microscope. It's a big microscope. Okay. So normal microscopes that we have in our labs, we can't see viruses with those microscopes. Okay. So we have to use electron microscopes. Next, they are found in the form of independent particles. So you have to remember, what is the definition of virus? Virus is a long molecule of DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, or RNA, ribonucleic acid, covered by a protein coat. So can you see here? These are the envelope protein here, and this is the viral genome or the DNA. So this is a very simple diagram. I have just given you a simple diagram here. Can you see? DNA or RNA. This can be DNA or RNA, this blue line, and this is the protein coat. This is the basic structure of a virus. Okay. So whenever you are writing answers, if you give such small diagrams, basic diagrams, the examiner will be really impressed. Okay. Next point is viruses survive only in the living plant or animal cells. So viruses do not survive in the dead cells. They survive only in the living plant or the animal cells. And then they produce their own proteins with the help of host cell. So on whoever's body it is sitting, okay, from there it takes the nutrition and then produces its own virus. Okay, produces its own protein. So that is a part of living thing. Living thing can only produce their own protein, right? So few things of living is also there in virus. Okay, so what does it do? It goes and sit on a living plant or animal cell. It produces its own protein with the help of the host cell and then create numerous replica. ओके एक जैसे बहुत सारे वायरस बनाने के लिए उसे किसी होस्ट बॉडी पे जाना पड़ता है. ठीक है, तो reproduce or to form the replica, it has to go and stick on a host. It takes the nutrition from it, it produces its own proteins and then create its numerous replica. Then they destroy the host cell. उसके बाद वो host cell को भी destroy कर देते हैं. ऐसा नहीं कि उससे हमने इतना सारा चीजें लिए तो उसको जिंदा छोड़ दे, नहीं, हम उसको डिस्ट्रॉय कर देते हैं. एंड देन दे बिकम फ्री एंड दीज फ्री वायरसेस अगेन इन्फेक्ट न्यू सेल्स. So see, this is the free virus. Can you see? It is attacking here. It is getting attached here. This is the host. Okay. Here reverse transcription and integration, all these things happen. You don't have to understand this. Just see this, that the protein synthesis happens here. Protein synthesis happens. Then there is, you can see these are the buds that are forming and then they close. Okay. And they form, they mature like this. So from one free virus, you can see there are multiple free viruses that has been formed. So just remember, virus survive on living plant or animal. They produce their own protein with the help of the host cell. They kill the host cell, they destroy the host cell, and the virus becomes free. And there are lots of replicas of that virus then. Okay. Next is virus cause many diseases to plants and animals. So for humans, what are the different diseases that are caused due to virus? Polio virus. You all know what polio is. Okay, so one polio virus is there which causes polio in human beings. Then there is influenza virus. This influenza virus causes flu or influenza in humans. Then we know HIV. All of us know about HIV. HIV causes AIDS. Okay. So in AIDS, these are the different symptoms. It affects our brain and causes encephalitis and meningitis. In eyes, it causes retinitis. In lungs, it causes pneumonia, tuberculosis, and multiple organ failures. In multiple organs, it causes tuberculosis. There are multiple tumors that are formed in all the body parts. Skin tumor is also formed. Okay, and gastrointestinal, esophagitis, chronic diarrhea, and tumors. So everywhere this is causing tumors and it kills our immune system. Okay, so in human it causes polio virus, influenza virus. So these are the different viruses which affects human: polio virus, influenza virus, HIV virus. In cattle, there is a virus known as picorna virus. Can you see the tongue of this cattle? It has been affected by picorna virus. Then in plants, it causes tomato wilt virus. See how the leaves are affected and how the tomato has been affected by this virus. This is known as tomato wilt virus. And next is tobacco mosaic virus. So you see, this is how the virus looks like, and this is what it has done to the tobacco plant. These are the examples in plant. Now bacteria. In bacteria also the virus attacks the bacteria as well. So here, can you see, this is a virus and this one is a bacteria. So viruses have attached on the bacteria. So viruses also attack bacteria. And one example is bacteriophage. So here you see these are the different pictures, different simple diagrams. See, this is for HIV, this is for hepatitis B. Ebola virus looks like this. Bacteriophage, the last one that I showed you, looks something like this. This is adenovirus, influenza virus, rabies virus, papilloma virus, rotavirus, and herpes virus. So these are the different types of viruses. We should be aware of these. We should be well informed about these. So this was all about the types of microbes, and here we finished chapter 1 for our SSC class 8 science. So I hope you enjoyed the lecture. So if you have liked the lecture, give it a thumbs up, write in the comment section. It gives me a lot of motivation to read your comments. If you like the video, do share it with your friends and keep the learning always on Zenith Academy Online.